Okay, resuming from before, our conversation got cut off, but we're not talking about something else. So you were saying to be, do you want to reiterate? Because you did it briefly.
In this discussion, we were thinking about the problem of overthinking versus the inability to think to a decent level. So overthinking versus underthinking. Think about it like that. You know, I'm sure many people, we happen to be talking about meditation. You know, many people, actually do take the time to think things through and probably at some point in time wonder, am I overthinking this? And unfortunately, each individual has our own perspective. So every once in a while, though, it's nice to jump outside of that subjectivity and take a step back and objectify yourself, if you will, just a little bit, And I mean, I think most of the time if you feel like you're overthinking a situation, if you're able to step out of that and go, am I overthinking here? I think that would be the better ability versus one who doesn't have that high mental capacity and just, doesn't think things through as much as they should, yet has more time to think.
And that's why I was totally thinking the same thing. Because overthinking, at least, you have hope and you have a chance for a change. Whereas underthinking, I mean, it's pretty much a given. You are where you are indefinitely. I mean, you're really kind of being led in your life if you're not thinking enough, you know what I mean? So thinking too much, even to the point of anxiety or something like that, is still valuable, I find, in the sense that no matter what, at least you're thinking. And with thinking comes new ideas, comes new inspirations, new structures and plans and understanding that never leaves you, and makes everything easier from then on out. And overthinking can be a bitch sometimes, that's for sure. But still, it's better.
No, yeah, I mean, I'd have to say that. I mean, there's definitely, I feel like there is hope for the underthinkers as well. Because for every underthinker, there's easily...
I have definitely been an underthinker at different points in my life, too. I think the point is balancing out, thinking just enough, thinking.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like I said before, I mean, we do have plenty of times in our life, but I mean, at certain points in time, it's like, wow, I'm spending way too much time thinking versus, actually doing. And you sit there and you think about that, and, that might cause to, time crunch, basically, on that. But, I mean, at the same time, if you're able to, do something better because you've spent a little bit more time putting in the thought process versus you just kind of going, oh, well, I'm going to, let's say you're trying to get from point A to B. Oh, well, I'm going to walk, but, oh, look, I happen to have $1.25, I could just take the bus, and I know the bus routes because I've taken the bus before, or something like that, because you spent that extra step in your thinking process to go, is there not a better way to do this? I mean, perfectionism is something that can never really be attained, but I feel like, not only, just in an individual life, but just society, period, I mean, we're always trying to make things better, hence technological advancements and things like that. We're always trying to find a way to make something better. We'll never really get it perfect. I mean, I don't envision us being able to achieve immortality, probably even time travel. I mean,
I think both of those are possible.
Well, yeah. I mean,
inevitable.
But I mean, yeah, like also too, I mean, since both things are both relevant to time as well, I mean, think about, good old JC. I mean, he's able to live through others to this day. I mean...
Wait. Oh, right. That JC. I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Alright.
But yeah, I mean, like you think about that, I mean, because then you have to sit there and you have to think about the, criteria for what is being immortal and everything like that. But, obviously when people pass, they live through others. Just like when people live their lives, I mean, even, in a dark room of despair, I mean, yeah, you can look up at a family photo and go, well, you know what, I'm contributing, doing something like that. I'm able to, you live for others because they live for you.
I just read that quote recently. It's really funny that you say that. I was thinking about that recently too.
Well, yeah, like I saw multiple things like that. I forget who it's attributed to. Hopefully, it doesn't get red flagged on the tube. But nah, yeah, I mean, just yeah, I mean, whoever said that, yeah, it should be cited. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty decent way to live your life.
Because
too.
what's the alternative? Everyone living for themselves, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, you started with, the nomadic herders during the Ice Age, and yeah, just...
That's not even inherent in our being, like, I mean, when we're born, we need to be with others to grow.
There's that
in the
functionalism starting out, dude, that's the first function, the family. Got family, education, and then, like, workplace type thing. Where, you start out, I mean, think about, just, like, political affiliations, things like that. Maybe it's a certain food you like. You might like sugar cookies, for instance, because mommy.
Do you want some sugar cookies?
Oh no, I'm fine. I'm gonna have my fix, But I mean, you might prefer Pepsi instead of Coke. I mean, for me it happens to be Coca-Cola.
Your mom too?
No.
She it's Pepsi.
Mama was Pepsi. Dad was Coca-Cola.
Okay.
But it could be something like I mean. Yeah, I mean, Dad was born in Chicago, grew up in Cleveland. Same thing with, Mom born and raised Cleveland, but then she moved over here. But, in the Midwest, they call it pop versus, out here. Yeah. Oh, you want a soda? You want to, I mean, yeah, like, I grew up saying pop. I'm like, oh, can I get a jelly jar of pop? Those little, I can't think of the brand name for the jelly, but, it might have been Smucker's, it might have been something else, but, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of distinct differences and everything like that, but yeah, through that family function, I mean, I feel like a lot is learned, and everything like that.
I have a question about your dad. Have you been connected to your dad ever since his passing?
Well, honestly, I mean, that's that's easily one of the main drives, and a lot of everything I do. I mean, my personal story. I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, in a way, he was basically the glue that kind of held the family together. I mean, honestly, yeah, me, I really only hang out with my immediate family. However, recent years, I've been able to branch out. It's just mainly me, Mom, and Jim. But what I will say, though, is yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, like, initially, I remember when I got my job, it's like, you know what, I should go take care of Mom. This is the right thing to do for that reason. Almost a what Dad would have wanted thing. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, there's still times, think about him and everything like that, I mean, it's unfortunate, yeah, I mean, when people aren't physically here and things like that, I mean, you don't think about him as often as you think you would have, at a current given time. But, I mean, when milestones, things like that happen, like I remember when I was playing football, I was a senior, yeah, I mean, I actually got flown up to Reno just to go drive back down with Jared. And I remember that day, and, it was somewhat exhausting. I mean, we happened to have that Friday off, but we played homecoming game against Coronado. I got to start that game. We ended up winning the game. But, during the pregame warm-ups and stuff, yeah, I mean, I thought about that, I mean, yeah, whether it's, yeah, I mean, the day of his passing or, the day of his birthday, I mean. And, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate you don't think about that stuff as often. But, I mean, like, when it comes through and it shines. Whether, you might, run into somebody he used to know, or like something like that, or you might go visit your grandpa and he might have something to say about it or something, or remember that time, or you might drive by a particular spot or remember a particular area, place, things like that, see the old house, little things like that, like, I mean, yeah, like I remember when you used to live off Martin, I used to live off Hawk Street. They developed the hell around those two areas. For a while, yeah, like the house, like the house over on Martin looked like it was all shitty, but somebody came in, they revamped it, looks nice, I mean, in a way, I mean, I was thinking about that, like, oh, wow, I mean, that kind of, like, seemed like, yeah, for you, yeah, you're doing really well, and it seemed like there was, like, a gray area, but no, you found your path, and now, yeah, your house is painted red, and, it looks like brand new, I mean, yeah, like,
it's
like,
funny to see how time affects things. And
well, yeah, like, I mean, yeah, like my old houses, I mean, yeah.
When
like,
did you move into the house that you guys are in now?
Jesus, 3rd grade? Yeah, it was like 9 going into 10, I think. But, no, yeah, I mean, I mean, it was, I mean, it's just kind of interesting, like, we actually got our yard redone and everything like that. Hell, I even took a picture of the, like, the smaller tree. It's like, closer to the street versus the big tree that ended up, wind knocking over a few branches and us having to cut that big tree. But, yeah, it was definitely interesting, looking at that through symbols and things like that. The big tree seemed like Dad at that point in time, and, I was like the little tree, and, even though the big tree died off and everything, the stump's still there. So there's hope in that. But not only that, but you heard my comment earlier about how, the roots weren't taking all the water from the sprinklers now, and that younger tree could grow. Even though I, like the tree, ended up getting a haircut. I probably cut my hair a little too short this time, but
it's good. I think.
Well, yeah.
That's a beautiful metaphor too. I've never.
The tree grew greener, stronger, all that other stuff.
It was just time for that tree to pass for the other one.
It grew more eloquently. It didn't, grow weird or anything like that. Obviously it needed a trim. Now it looks good. Obviously, the little tree, like the big one, had its imperfections. But, that little tree will be around for a long time. And, it looks nicer now that it's, a little bit more clean cut. You can tell it's on its way.
Nice.
But, yeah, it's, yard work's fun, but, yeah, it's always interesting. Yeah, just taking things like that and looking at it. But,
philosophical.
Well, yeah, like
That's
you said,
beautiful, really.
Well, yeah, going back to that, yeah, obviously, yeah, the fact that it was a member of my immediate family, of course, yeah, he's still around, whether it's, I don't know, yeah, finding out, finding out that he was in management as well, finding out, there was a story behind that where, yeah, somebody my mom knew, they ended up going double dating, and, I guess the guy's like, hey, you seem like a very trustworthy person. You want to have this management job, and boom. Like that, something, I've been told that I'm a pretty trustworthy person as well.
Oh, yeah, I would say so.
There's a lot of qualities I attribute to my dad and everything like that, but at the same time, even though, I'm older, I'm obviously doing things, more individualized, I have work, school, all that other stuff. But, I obviously still live with my mom, but, I'm learning little more and more things about that. Every time I go back home to the Midwest, I learn things through those guys, and, I get to see, a piece of the family, basically, in each one of those guys. I could see a little bit of my mom and each one of my, her side's family. I can see a little bit, there's substantially less, but I know there's more out there, and I'll find them in the summer, through my dad's side, through my grandpa and my uncle. But it's just very, very, very interesting to, go back, revisit with family and things like that, Because, when you're able to understand things through your family, you're also able to understand more about yourself, I feel. It's whether it's why is my hair all, just, straight up, I'm not curly. I have a friend, and he's rocking out, he's looking like a good Jim Morrison. Most people don't see the Jim Morrison, but, they don't understand the references and the concepts. That's all right, though. But, he has very curly hair versus me. It seems like I almost have, that, short straw, dog-like fur hair. It's not as soft, I don't have the wave going on like you. I can rock that,
I think so.
Well,
I think so.
I could, but I just wouldn't look good with long hair, I could maybe pull off a mustache. Well,
no, I think so. And I think I've seen you in a mustache. It was good.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, I know I could definitely pull out the beard like my brother and stuff like that, but it's just one of those
I'd like to see a hippie version.
Well, yeah, for men it's for facial hair and, it might be height, things like that. For girls, it's like, oh, well, I have this, I have the curly hair and I have the, they might look at their mother and go, oh, wow, Mom has those Jerry curls or those locks or whatever. She might have the nappy weave like Bonquisha or something. No offense to any Bonquishas out there, but it's just more or less one of those things where, yeah, you sit there and, it's nice learning, seeing, spending time with family almost in a way for that reason. It's like, yeah, I might talk a little bit goofy. For the longest time, people are like, oh, are you from the South? Oh, really? You're born and raised from Vegas? All this other stuff? And I was just like, well, that's just kind of the way I talk. Obviously, people can mimic accents and do stuff like that, but, in a way, that's just kind of the way I talk. I could talk all proper and everything like that. And I seen it, talk like that. keep saying, you know, like all those other, you know, buzz phrases you're not supposed to say, and, you know, they teach you not to say, you shouldn't say like every 5 sentences, things like that. I might say the word yeah after almost every statement I make, but, you know, in a way, you know, is that yeah period, like, okay, he's done, or is that yeah, did you understand? You know, people interpret a different way through body language and, yeah, actual content of the words. Put that together to make the sentence. Look at the grammatics and the way that people say it as well. But, yeah, I mean,